What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of After Credits. I am Liam. Daniel is not here because he's a faggot and he missed the screening. Because Nate, it's his first appearance here on After Credits. He's my best friend in the world.
How's it going, guys?
We just got out of La La Land, which is a new musical directed by Damien Chazelle, who directed Whiplash. It stars Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. It's enough award nominations, ton hype, but nobody's opinion matters but ours. So Nate, what did you think of this movie?
Definitely gonna get some Best Picture hype. Should definitely get some Best Actor, Best Actress hype, because Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone are absolutely phenomenal.
Now, spoiler alert, if you don't want any spoilers for this movie, and I suggest you don't have any spoilers because this movie's great and you should see it, scroll to the time code right here. You get our non-spoiler thoughts on the movie and our scores out of 6 stars.
So La La Land, open up, LA. We meet Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling. They're both stuck in this long traffic jam.
Yeah.
Gosling is going back and forth on the radio, listening to. We're not really sure what it is at first. It's a piano riff. First interaction. Not great. Not great.
He's flipping her off in traffic.
He's flipping her off in traffic.
She's like looking through her lines while she's in traffic.
She doesn't realize that the traffic is moving ahead, and it's this strangely, oddly, really cute moment in a way.
That's their first interaction, but they never really refer back to it, which I thought was interesting.
It takes Emma Stone and it starts going through her story.
She's an actress. She works at a coffee shop at the Warner Brothers lot. Which I don't know if any of you have been at Warner Brothers Studios, but it's like, I've been there, I've been on the tour there, and it's really cool. And it was cool seeing her work there because she's kind of around this whole movie world. And Ryan Gosling is a pianist. He's kind of looking for work. You see he has this one gig working for J.K. Simmons, who has a very funny cameo in this movie.
It's the best supporting actor right there.
Yes. Or John Legend, you know.
Oh, God. John Legend was the biggest douchebag in this movie.
Yes.
Ryan Gosling mentions early on in the film that there's this guy who has ripped him off in the past, has shanghaied him.
Yeah.
And
we meet him later on.
in this jazz bar, and it's John Legend. Yeah, fucking John Legend.
I mean, we see a lot of musicians like trying to be actors. I mean, you know.
He did okay.
He is good
okay.
acting.
Not a lot for him to fuck up there.
Yeah, it's kind of like Justin Timberlake showing up in The Social Network.
Legend comes to Ryan Gosling and he's like, "Hey, I got this group together. It's gonna be awesome." And Ryan Gosling, of course, after being fucked over by him in the past, has absolutely no interest. And after prodding from Emma Stone, he ends up doing it. Although it's not really prodding from Emma Stone. He
just kind of decides.
He overhears a conversation that she's having with her mother about how he's broke. Well, his interpretation is he takes it as she's telling his mother he's broke, he's a loser, doesn't really have anything going for him. So he immediately hops in the car and signs on the dotted line. It all seems okay at first.
Yeah.
And then they get to the first rehearsal, and it's great. They start playing this real jazz music, and Gosling's been talking through the whole film about, oh, jazz is dying. There's no real jazz anymore. Yeah. And you think at first, oh, okay, cool. He's kind of joined this group where he's going to be able to do his stuff and get paid. He's getting paid like $1,000 a week, and all of a sudden, as they're playing the music, John Legend turns over and he hits a button on a synthesizer.
It goes into this techno bullshit, and Gosling's just like, what the fuck?
Oh, God.
There's a great scene early on where, like, Gosling he's kind of going through these different jobs. There's one where he's at a wedding band. And this scene is fucking great. Like, they do Take on Me, and then Emma Stone suggests that they do Iran, and you see this shitty wedding band performance.
Gosling is dressed like George Michael through the whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
And he's got like these really bad sunglasses on and a little keytar hanging off his neck.
It's so stupid.
Emma Stone requests the song. She starts like dancing to it and making all these faces at him.
Yeah.
After that, this was one of my favorite moments of the movie. He walks her out to the car.
Yes.
There's this great little reference to sticking your key fob under your chin.
Yeah.
Which I've had people tell me before.
Yeah.
That it works. As a matter of fact, they go into what I thought was the best number of the whole film.
Is the tap dancing?
Yeah, this great tap dancing scene with Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, and they're out on this highway overlooking this great view of LA.
Yes.
And it's just this wonderful moment. And she finds her car at the end of the song, and she's like, oh, I can drive you to your car, and Ryan Gosling is like, no, it's just up over the hill.
Yeah, and like walk the entire way.
Yeah, and he kind of watches her walk off for a bit, and he stops and turns around and walks all the way back to the party, to his car. He's parked just right outside, and he does this great little tap step.
The other number I really liked is there's one at the beginning with Emma Stone and all of her
her roommates?
Yes.
That's a good one.
That song,
I love the color scheme in that. They all have different colored dresses.
It starts off like she's getting out of the shower, and like they're all sort of singing about like this party that they're gonna go to. It's like this idea, like all these actresses, like they're gonna go to this party, and maybe they're gonna meet somebody who can cast them in a movie. It's just really well choreographed. Like I think the cinematography in this movie definitely Oscar worthy.
Beautiful.
There's a lot. There's like the opening number is done in like one take.
There are these great moments where you'll see like Gosling playing the piano and Emma Stone listening, or Emma Stone giving some monologue and Ryan Gosling listening to her. Everything kind of fades to black.
Yeah.
And there's just this light on them. They've sort of brightened up the screen all around them, and it's just this wonderful magical way to show that they really are the only, almost like they are the only two people in the world.
Yeah, I think like there's a common criticism of a lot of movie musicals is it's like, oh, you can just watch, you should rather just go and see the musical. Whereas with this movie, Chazelle really understands how to use the format of filmmaking and do things that you couldn't do on stage. And especially in some of the stuff you're talking about when it's just sort of phased just to them, like I felt like that was just, it is just some of the best filmmaking I've seen.
And they didn't rely on the musical numbers too much.
Right.
The musical numbers really just set the tone, and the feelings and emotions that are kind of hard to convey through dialogue. There's a good chunk of the film there kind of when this whole relationship is dissolving.
That there's no I was about to get to that.
Yeah, there's just no music for a good 20-25 minutes of the film.
The second half of the movie, there's barely any musical numbers, and at first when I was watching that, it kind of turned me off of it a bit, but then I kind of realized like that's kind of the point of the movie, is it's like,
because the music is sort of denoting these magical, wonderful moments, and when all the magic has sort of disappeared, and when things are rough and things aren't fun and honeymoony, the music sort of disappears, and I thought that was really cool.
That was a really, really interesting way to take it. Musical numbers doesn't rely on them, but when they're there, fantastic. This is what's going to get Chazelle the Oscar for setting up, like, I can't even imagine how much time it took to just to choreograph these scenes. And it's like a lot of these, it's like if one guy in the back fucks up, you got to do it all over again.
No, fuck. The song you were talking about earlier with Emma Stone and all her roommates at the very beginning. Emma Stone is constantly just making these faces throughout it where she's kind of mocking the whole thing.
Yeah, and that's what I definitely felt. They're kind of like mocking these tropes that are seen in musicals.
Yeah, but it still works. It's not necessarily that Chazelle is mocking the tropes, but Stone's character is kind of mocking her friends and mocking like, oh god, we're gonna go out, and all these ideas of like, oh yeah, let's go meet a guy, and then of course that's exactly what happens.
Gosling is in this band with John Legend. What are they called? I remember they had
mergers.
The Messengers.
The Messengers. That's what it is. The Messengers.
And you see this great
such a John Legend name. For a band.
Yes. I actually like John Legend. So
he's okay. Who's that guy? What is his name? Like John Blake or something like that. He's someone knows who I'm talking about. Fucking the Messenger's music sounded just like this guy.
Oh, I think I know who you're talking about.
God, I wish I could think of his name, and I can't. John Legend says at one point, he makes kind of an interesting point where he's looking at Ryan Gosling, and Ryan Gosling is just like,
he definitely doesn't. He's totally old school jazz.
He's very traditional.
Shit. Yeah.
And John Legend tells him at one point, he was like, look, all these jazz artists that you appreciated, they were revolutionaries at the time, and you can't be traditional if you're wanting to do what they did.
Yes. He wants to be pushing the genre forward, but he doesn't necessarily want to do it the way that John Legend's doing it.
The way that Gosling's character like just appreciates this art form,
Yeah.
and the way that he just admires it and respects it, I can totally understand him, you know, wanting to do it in a similar way. But John Legend is right. It's
Yeah.
hard because you've got to find something new, and
Yeah.
then there's this weird balance of like, okay, how do we do something new and revolutionary without completely perverting it?
You kind of see that in that one scene where the messengers are having this concert, and Gosling's, he's playing like an electric piano.
Emma Stone's standing in the crowd watching,
And she's
and
like,
at
"Oh,
first,
yeah."
like, lights come up on Gosling, and he plays this great piano riff, and then John Legend comes out and he sings a little bit, and it's all great for a little bit, and then all the lights come on, and Gosling starts fucking with all these synthesizers, you get
Yeah.
background dancers, and Emma
Yeah.
Stone's standing in the crowd like, what the fuck? This
Yeah.
is jazz music. Like, when did this turn into a Beyonce concert?
Yeah, and it's interesting because in that whole scene, I was thinking there's a scene at the beginning where Gosling is talking to Stone about how he wants to open up his own jazz club, which is kind of his whole goal in the movie. Is he says, I just want to go and play, and we'll play whenever we want, and we'll play whatever we want as long as it's pure. And you can totally see in that scene that is not the shit that they're doing.
The photo shoot
This
is what totally sells this for me. Gosling, like, all of them are just ridiculously dressed, but I love Gosling's costume the most.
Yes.
He's decked out in just his normal kind of suave Ryan Gosling-esque suits, and then he's got this weird, like, white mesh hat on and these big sunglasses, and the fucking photographer comes over and he's like, no, just bite your lip a little bit. Just bite your lip and pull your glasses down, and Gosling's fucking making these faces like Emma Stone's career hasn't been going the way she wants it to, whereas Ryan Gosling is becoming really successful, but it's Emma
not
Stone is
something-
doing what she wants to do and not being successful. Ryan Gosling is doing the exact opposite of
Yeah.
what he wants to do, yet he's being successful.
So they're both kind of unhappy.
Yes.
And we see there's a great confrontation scene where he's been on tour for a while. She's been doing her show. It hasn't been going that great. They had this dinner table. Gosling comes back and
he comes
surprises
back,
her.
yeah, he's trying to surprise her, and she comes home early, and the surprise is kind of ruined there, which at first you're thinking, oh, that's kind of a cute moment, like it
Yeah.
doesn't matter, but that's sort of this foreshadowing of what's about to happen in
Yeah.
this scene where they essentially break up.
She goes back home, and we see over the course of the months, Gosling has been keep doing his shit with John Legend, and she's back at home, and then he gets a call, and he finds out it's from a casting agent who saw Emma Stone's show, and now
So he immediately hops in the car
Yeah.
and drives out to Boulder City, Nevada.
Yeah.
And he starts blaring the horn,
Yeah.
which is a throwback to the first scene where he picks her up when they first start dating. He tells her, you know, you have an audition tomorrow at 5:30. I'll be here to pick you up at 8 a.m. You can either be here or not.
She shows up. He thinks she's not there. He's about to take
That's
off.
a great moment.
And
He
she's like-
starts pulling out of the driveway, and she like kind of stops, and she's got coffee and donuts in her hand.
She goes to this audition, and this is sort of the scene we were talking about earlier when she sings the song, the audition song, which this is, I'm sure you've heard it in every trailer for this movie. It's probably going to get an Oscar nomination for Best Original Song. She's singing this song, it kind of fades just to black. There's no like imagery in the background, it's just her singing the song, and it's fantastic. This is the scene that she's going to get the Oscar for.
Okay, but then
Yes.
we get to the last about half hour of the movie.
I'd say last like 15 minutes.
The first 5/6 of the movie takes place within a year in LA, and it goes through winter, spring, summer, autumn, and then back to winter. But
Right.
when they go back to winter, it's 5 years later. We then kind of open up on Ryan Gosling. You see that Ryan Gosling has opened his piano bar, and
Yeah, it's exactly what he
yes,
wanted.
it's exactly what he wanted, and you're all excited. But then fucking Emma Stone, you see her in her home, and she's found some new fucking husband within the last 5 years, and they have a goddamn kid, and they're just all happy, and the fucking kid, and they get a babysitter, and then they go off and they're gonna go get dinner, and Emma Stone just happens to be like, hey sweetie, because they're in all this fucking LA traffic, and she's like, hey sweetie, why don't we just pull
It
off
was a
here
call.
and
I felt
go
like
get
I
dinner?
felt like the traffic was like a callback to like the opening of the movie.
It was.
I thought they were gonna. I thought they were
absolutely
gonna get up on the
was.
cars and start singing again.
So they pull off, and they're kind of walking down the street, and all of a sudden, like, they hear this jazz music, and you know immediately what it is, because it's the same fucking jazz music. It's like Gosling's fucking theme music in this movie, and it's great. Her husband, of course, is like, hey, let's go into this piano bar, and she's like, yeah, let's go. They go in, and it's this great band playing, but as they walk in, you see the sign, and it's called Seb's, and it's got this little music note as the apostrophe, and it's the exact logo that Emma Stone designed for Ryan Gosling's bar earlier in the movie.
His name is Sebastian.
His name's Sebastian. She immediately, like, you can just see in her face, her entire, like, her heart doesn't just sink. That thing, like, falls through her whole body and drops out her ass. And then they go sit down in the bar, and Ryan Gosling comes, and
he's introducing, like, the jazz band, and he's, like, being all suave and stuff, like the owner of the club, and he's about to play something, and he looks in the audience, and he sees Emma Stone, and it's that gut punch of a moment. Then he starts
playing his music that he's been playing through pretty much the song this year in all the fucking trailers. It starts playing through everything that you've just watched for the last 2 hours or however long.
But it's like the idealized version of the movie. When they first meet in the club, in this club with J.K. Simmons, in the first part, he just brushes past her, but in this thing, and like
grabs her and kisses her.
Yeah,
and it's all great, and everything's just going exactly the way it should.
Everybody loves her play. His thing with John Legend works out. They end up doing more traditional sort of jazz. She gets in this movie, and
they move to France, and he opens a piano bar in Paris.
Yeah,
and
it's this big lavish dance number.
And then they have a kid, and there's like home video, and it's so fucking cute. It's how the movie should have fucking ended. And then the movie actually ends, and it's very sad, and I almost cried.
I thought it was a nice way to end the movie, because it's sort of showing this is the idealized version, this is what you wanted to see.
Yes, but, okay.
But it wouldn't have made a compelling movie. And
I more so than I hate happy endings. They're always cheesy, they always feel forced, but this is the first movie that I've seen in probably ever where I was mad that I didn't get my storybook ending. I was livid. And that's part of the beauty of this movie. That's part of the truth, the gut-wrenching truth of this movie.
It's like, I'm upset for the characters, but I understand that that's how the movie had to end.
Yeah, I mean, that's how life works, but it sucks.
So if you clicked on the time code, welcome back to our non-spoiler thoughts on the movie. We're going to be giving our overall thoughts on La La Land and our scores out of 6 stars. So Nate, what did you think of La La Land?
I thought it was phenomenal. Good chance that it's the best movie of the year. It
for sure
has definitely made my top 10.
Definitely.
I give it a 6 out of 6.
I 6 to this. Yes, because I'm also giving this 6 stars. This movie is fucking great. Go see it. It's one of the best movies of the year. It's one of the best movie musicals of all time.
It better win all the awards.
I know. I mean, I'm fairly confident that Chazelle will win for director. This movie will win Best Picture. Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling.
Best original screenplay. It has to win Best original screenplay.
And Best original score.
Yes.
And yes, it's definitely. Like I know they're talking about Best original song. There's like 8 songs in this movie that they could use.
I haven't seen Casey Affleck's new flick, Manchester by the Sea.
Yeah.
But I don't need to. Ryan Gosling deserves Best Actor.
I don't know if it's my favorite performance from him, but it's because he's
so hard.
Yeah.
Just this year.
Yeah, just this year with Nice Guys
of my favorite
and
performances.
Big Short, and then you go back to like Place Beyond the Pines, Ides of March, Drive. He's one of the best actors working today, if not the best. So if you like this video, click the like button. We don't have enough subscribers, so please subscribe so you can see more of our awesome content. We got Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also check out my blog, liammgahan.wordpress.com. I review every movie I see, so there might be some movies that we don't cover on the main channel. We're going to try to be back later this week with Rogue One, a Star Wars story, which is surprisingly been getting really good reviews.
Looks tacky.
I'm going in with an open mind because I didn't think Force Awakens was going to be good, and then I ended up loving it. Fuck you.
Fuck Force Awakens.
It's got Daisy Ridley. Shut up.
Daisy Ridley's the only saving grace for that movie.
I know we're going to check out some more movies next week. Probably Jackie, Fences, maybe Passengers, maybe Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know.
City of Stars.